Gamers, what's good? Master Duel Central. So today we're going to be talking about the brand new deck Vanquish Soul that just dropped. Now with this deck, I actually just kind of walked through Diamond rank. Like I was at about Diamond 4 when the deck came out, and we started playing, and we were getting like a really good win rate. You know, like obviously it's not like 100% win rate. Here I lost 2 in a row. Here I lost 1. Here I lost 2. Here I lost 1. But as you can see, like overall, we're kind of just walking through. We have a really good win rate in general. Honestly, I've been really enjoying this deck, and it's not quite as hard as I expected it to be. People were talking about this deck being very difficult, and it definitely is at the start, but I think what's harder about this deck is not the deck itself, it's actually talking about the deck. But if we want to just take a quick look at it here for the people that just take a quick look, see, this is the list I'm going with right now. This deck is really interesting if you want to familiarize a bit with the cards here. Vanquish Soul Raisin is basically like the main searcher of your deck. He's your main normal summon. That's why you would run a card like Durandal, just like if it helps for you to search it. And the name of the game with this deck in general is just to get those attributes in your hand. You want to get up to 2 fire attributes in your hand so that you can get your search off of Jiaolong. If you can get a fire and a dark in your hand, you have a quick effect pop with the Raisin, popping any monster in its column. So you know, you're running a couple of fire targets, a couple of earth targets, because you do have effects that trigger on earth as well. I believe this one, Darken Earth for Mad Love, and you'll get a bounce. Mad Love is also your searcher for spells and traps. So this deck can definitely have, like, it feels like there's a lot going on here. By the way, if you guys didn't know, this deck is actually about fighting games. It's all fighting game references. You have your Heavy Borger and your Caesar Valius that both kind of work like assists in a fighting game, where you tag out your monster to special summon them, and they have really cool abilities. Borger is really cool. It's a draw pretty much every turn, so it can work kind of like a Heat Soul, but it also, if you have an Earth and Fire in your hand, you can inflict 1500 damage to your opponent instead. And this effect is actually really good, because keep in mind that basically means that if you can get like at least 5,000 damage going second on your opponent and trigger this effect, then that leaves them with 1500 life points, and if you just use this effect again next turn, you win the duel. I actually have a game where this happened. Generally speaking, your game plan is like, you know, you'll summon Raisin, you'll search your Jiaolong. If you have another fire in hand, you would reveal a fire in your hand with the Soul Raisin. You would reveal the Jiaolong you search to summon out the Jiaolong. Then you go into your Link 1 using your Raisin. You can add the Raisin back to your hand, and if you had like an Ash in your hand or a Kurikara or a Dogaran, well then you can actually trigger the Jiaolong effect by revealing 2 fires in your hand. You can search any of the Vanquish Soul cards in your deck. So it's very hand dependent for sure. There's definitely a lot going on with this deck. I think it's going to be a bit easier to talk about by watching replays and by watching some gameplay. It's not that easy to just explain by looking at a deck list, honestly. But this deck, don't let it scare you. It actually is pretty straightforward. Once you start playing it, you'll probably lose a couple of games getting used to how the deck works, but over time you'll see that you'll be finding a bunch of lines, and it's incredibly satisfying to play because of that. So with that in mind, we're going to be getting into the gameplay and replays very soon, but but before we get into that, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Buyee. If you've ever used Western websites to buy things from Japan before, you've most likely seen how much sellers like to up the price, and it can get really expensive. But Japan has so many awesome Yu-Gi-Oh products, from rare and uncensored cards, to beautiful figurines, to sick merch. This is why you need Buyee. Buyee is a service that places orders or bids on your behalf on Japanese shopping and auction websites, then ships the items straight to your door without any of the jacked up prices and none of the turmoil of trying to navigate Japanese websites. By using Buyee, you can buy anything from Japan. Their list of sites includes Rakuten, Amazon Japan, Rakuma, Yahoo Japan Auction, and many more. So if you've been wanting to get a hold of a rare Japanese card or a sick piece of Yu-Gi-Oh merch but don't want to pay ridiculous rates, Buyee will let you get your hands on them for a much better price. Buyee is very user-friendly and offers support in multiple languages, including English, of course. They also ship worldwide, including to North America, Europe, and Oceania. Buyee has over half a dozen international shipping methods, multiple payment methods, and 4 different insurance plans to meet your needs. Buyee is also offering MDC viewers a 10% off first-time purchase coupon up to 5,000 yen, which equates to roughly $33 USD for signing up through the link in the description. Signing up is easy and free, so if you want to try out this awesome website and get 5,000 yen off on your first order, make sure to visit Buyee using my link in the description. And thanks again to Buyee for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back into it. So if we're looking at replays here, I actually saved like almost too many replays. I think it's just because like this deck is so satisfying that almost every time that I was winning, Like, and even using a little bit of skill, I was like, yo, like this was a good replay. We got to save it. This deck can be prone to bricking sometimes, and there are soft bricks where like you just don't get into your raisin, but you can still do some cool stuff. But there are some bricks where it's just like, okay, this hand can like pretty much do nothing. That happens for even the best decks in the game though, so like I wouldn't really say that that makes the deck bad or anything like that. I still think this deck is actually really good. Maybe even like maybe tier 2, honestly, from how I was feeling. Like I literally walked through Diamond. I haven't played in Master yet with it, but like it has a really good matchup into Labyrinth, or at least it felt really good into Labyrinth. So I definitely think you can't sleep on this deck. It's actually really good. All right, so for our first replay, it's actually going to be a bit of a janky one. I just kind of want to show how this deck can kind of play into Maxi and go for game without taking the Nibiru challenge, thanks to the burn effect of our Burger Man. Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm on the wrong thing. Yep, like that. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we have Maxi, Raisin, Jiaolong. Our opponent is playing Salamangreat, so we're going to chain Maxi to their first normal summon, and they're just going to pass. Now, you might be like, bro, like, of course you win this, you know? But they also go Maxi, so it's not like a free game or anything like that. We also have to contend with Maxi here. We're going to go for Triple Tactics Talent. They're going to activate Ash Blossom on our Triple Tactics, which I'm totally happy with. That was actually kind of a bait for an Ash Blossom, so super cool with them taking that out of our plays. Here, we're going to go for Triple Tactics Talent and just draw 2 cards. I meant Thrust, by the way, when I said Talent earlier. Now we're going to summon out our Raisin, and we're going to search ourselves a Heavy Borger. So we have a Dark, a Fire, and an Earth in hand. That's always a pretty good ratio to see in your hand for this deck, but it doesn't really matter for this case because we're pretty much just going to turbo out a game here. So we're going to go reveal Jiaolong, reveal Borger to pop the Falco. Then because I revealed a card in hand, I can special summon Jiaolong. Then I'm going to activate Stake Your Soul on my Pantera. Stake Your Soul lets you summon a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your hand, but a different name. That's a Vanquish Soul from your deck. So here we get to summon our Caesar. So we're going to summon Caesar Valius, sorry. So here we have almost lethal. We're going to go for Heavy Borger, and we can summon our Potemkin, and here we pretty much have lethal, right? So we're going to go for game. And by the way, that was 4 summons. So we did not play into Nibiru, and we had lethal on board. The thing is, here we swing with Burger. They're going to go for Book of Moon. Crazy! We're going to actually use our Burger effect to burn for 1500 damage. So Burger Man, reveal an Earth, reveal a Fire. We can burn for 1500. It's pretty massive. Let me show you why. Burn for 1500, and then we can use our Jiaolong effect. Here I was like kind of wondering if I flip it back, if I still get my attack. We don't. But basically, we had to flip it back anyway to do what I want to do. We're going to go Jiaolong effect. The Jiaolong has an effect where if you just reveal 1 fire, you can change the battle position of a monster, which is pretty important here. So we're going to reveal our Raisin, flip up our Burger, swing with the Jiaolong, and what's that? 1100 life points. Oh, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Our monster gets added back to hand because of Stake Your Soul. And then on our opponent's turn, as soon as they activate anything, I just wanted to be safe from Imperm here. As soon as they activate anything, we go Heavy Burger. Effect number 2, reveal 2. And burn for game, baby. Here he goes. Boom. Listen, man. This deck is awesome. Like, I know that game was pretty goofy. I just kind of wanted to show that we can go for game even without getting nibbed under the Maxi challenge. And that even if you don't get to lethal, as long as you get like 5,000 damage and a burn effect, you can just go for game anyway the next turn regardless. So yeah, really, really solid stuff. Let's move on to a bit less of a janky replay. All right, so for this replay here, we're going to be going first into the Maxi challenge. And with a pretty crazy hand, no like insane staples, but just a good spread of attributes, which is again very, very important for this deck. The attributes in your hand are always very important. Here I have the Dogaran, the Raisin, the Mad Love, and the Burger. So that's 2 darks, 2 fires, and a Stake Your Soul. You can't ask for much better. This is pretty crazy. Our opponent's going to go Maxi here, which is pretty rough, but our deck actually can kind of play into Maxi, not too terribly. So we're going to go Raisin here to search our Caesar Valius. I actually decided, you know what? I just want access to all my attributes. So because we can special summon out the Mad Love from our hand later down the turn with the Vanquisher and set up our trap card, which is really amazing. So we go for Stake Your Soul here, revealing Heavy Burger, and we can summon Vanquish Soul, Dr. Madlove from our deck. Then we're going to go Madlove effect, add the Snow Devil to our hand. We can make Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock of the Vanquisher effect, we're going to add back our Raisin to hand. So basically, here's what we have, okay? We have just a trap, but we also have the special summon of Rock of the Vanquisher, which means I'll be able to pop a card with Raisin next turn, or I could even go, I could even go for the bounce effect of Mad Love. So we actually have 2 interruptions. This is a whole ass field wipe. Well, this one will literally wipe our entire opponent's monsters, and it will protect our monsters for the rest of the turn. We're going to get 1 draw off of Heavy Burger next turn because we can reveal a Dark, and we can tag out pretty much any Vanquish Soul to summon the Heavy Burger. And we also have Caesar Valius, which if we summon our Raisin with the Rock of the Vanquisher or our trap card, we can search an Earth, and then we'll get our pop with the Caesar Valius. So even though this looks like nothing, we actually have like 3 or 4 interruptions here. It's pretty great. All right, past turn here. Our opponent is on 7 cards. Not too bad for a maxi challenge, and they're playing Pearly. So this is definitely not a walk in the park here. As soon as they activate their Sleepy Memory, I'm actually going to go Rock of the Vanquisher to summon out Mad Love in defense, because I wanted to go for the bounce effect on their Pearly Noir, but they went for a Pearly, so maybe a little bit, you know, a little bit premature there, but it is what it is. We're going to go for Mad Love effect here and add to our hand a Vanquish Soul Dust Devil. This card is really amazing. We're going to see that card again in a replay later. With the Pearly, they get to add a card, and they get to draw a card with the Brow. Then they're going to go for another Pearly effect, and they're going to add the Pretty Memory to the hand. So they're going to go and link summon into Azalea. Kind of a weird play here, not too bad, but what I don't understand is why they targeted my Mad Love here. I really don't get why they didn't just target my back row. I don't know if like there was something stopping them from doing it. Like, it doesn't say a face-up card. I'm pretty sure you can target a back row. I just don't understand. But yeah, they went for my Mad Love here. We're going to chain Heavy Burger so we can actually add our Mad Love back to our hand, summon the Heavy Burger, and we'll even be able to get a draw off of Heavy Burger after. So we're going to go Heavy Burger effect here, reveal a Dark in hand to get a draw. And yeah, here we go. We get ourselves Triple Tactics Thrust. Pretty good. And they're going to summon their Puralili. I said Pearly Noir earlier, but I meant Puralili. They're going to trigger Snow in the Grave and Puralili effect here. So Puralili, they're going to search themselves a My Friend Pearly. And with the Snow, I think they add just another copy of Snow. Yeah, they're going to add another copy of Snow there. So pretty good. Then they're going to go for My Friend Pearly. On activation of My Friend Pearly, they're going to fetch themselves a Delicious Memory. Very good. They're going to go for Delicious Memory, of course, targeting their Azalea, summoning out a Pearly. Then they can trigger Snow, trigger Pearly. So, you know, it's Pearly. They just keep playing. They just keep doing things. They just keep pressing buttons. The shit doesn't end. Revealing 3 from the top of the deck here. They're going to add a Happy Memory. Very scary. Very scary. And they're going to add also another Snow to their hand here. They're going to go for Puralili effect targeting Delicious Memory. Here I'm going to go for Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. I kind of forgot that their stuff would be protected by Pearly Street. So yeah, that's, you know, it is. Oh, no, it's not. I can't target them, but then they protect it with the Happy Memory they just searched. That's what it is. My bad, my bad. So they go into E-Pearly Plump. And yeah, we pop the Pearly, but they still get their Plump effect here. Pretty good. They get to equip a couple of materials. They're going to set 2. Here I'm going to go for Caesar Valius. And we're going to summon out Caesar Valius. Didn't really play perfectly there, but it seems like my interruptions were enough for them not to get to all the materials they needed. So we're going to draw into our Stake Your Soul. They're going to grab a couple of materials here. And we're basically just going to win off of Dust Devil here because they're going to go for Plump. They're going to draw 2. Then they're going to go for Pearly Yeep. And we're actually going to activate our Dust Devil. Dust Devil is basically just a Book of Moon, non-targeting though, so it's really, really good. It's actually Book of Eclipse, but better. So we flip their monster face down here. They don't get to make their X Pearly Noir. And at this point, you can kind of see that we can't really lose here. We're going to grab a Harpy's Feather Duster to make it even easier for us. Harpy's Feather Duster, get rid of all the back row. They're going to go for Called by the Grave on our Rock of the Vanquisher. It's good, but it's not really going to be enough for them to win the game here. So, yeah, they banish the Rock of the Vanquisher. That's completely fine. We pop all the back row to get all their materials in the grave. We make our Dogaran here just to out it. And then we go into Raisin. I probably didn't need to use my Dogaran here, but I was just kind of being stylish, you know. Now we're going to go for Stake Your Soul, summon out the Mad Love search, continue. Then we're going to flip our Caesar to attack, reveal a Dark in our hand, and we can summon out the Jiaolong. That way, we can go Heavy Burger, add back our Mad Love to the hand, get the Heavy Burger on the field, get a draw off of Heavy Burger. They're going to go for Effect Veiler on the draw effect, which is a little bit goofy, but it's completely fine. So anyway, can fast forward here a little bit. Fast forward, yes. Go to battle, swing, and, you know, just go for lethal. pretty simple, pretty simple. Kind of a weird replay, I can't lie. I did kind of misplay, I would say, like in the order I interrupted my opponent. Obviously, I wasn't exactly sure what they had in hand and stuff, but definitely kind of a misplay to wait that long to use my trap, because they ended up getting into a card that could protect their Pearly before I was able to use my trap card, you know? So that was kind of rough, but overall, I mean, I still basically went and played into Maxi Challenge against Pearly and still came out victorious, and I was going first, you know? So like that, that's nothing to sleep on. All right, let's move on to the next replay. All right, so for this one here, we're going to be playing against Labyrinth, and my turn one is pretty unimpressive, I'll tell you in advance. The main thing about this that I want to show off is just how we can kind of out-resource Labyrinth, and it makes the matchup pretty hard for them, actually. So it went pretty well for us. So here we go. We've got 2 fires in hand, 2 darks, and 1 earth. So we're going to go Raisin, add the Jiaolong. Then we can go Raisin effect, reveal a fire so that we can summon out the Jiaolong from our hand. Then we're going to link into Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock of the Vanquisher effect, we're going to add back from our grave to our hand our Soul Raisin so that we can go for Jiaolong, revealing Raisin. And with that, we're going to add ourselves a Heavy Borger. I feel like this was a misplay to add the Heavy Borger here. I honestly think it would have been smarter to just go for the trap card, honestly. Like, I don't know why I thought that draw would do so much for me here. I'm kind of confused about this play in retrospect, but that's not really the point of this replay, so it is what it is. We're going to go for Heavy Borger effect here. We still get our draw, of course, off of Heavy Borger. It's definitely not bad. Reveal the Mad Love in hand. We draw into, like, Durandal, you know, like, which is, like, just useless at this point. Here they're going to go for their Chandelier. They're going to set up their Big Welcome, and they're going to trigger their Lady Labyrinth in the hand to special summon it. So their board's looking better than ours right now, but you'll see. They're going to go for Ariana here. We're going to go for our draw off of Heavy Borger. Very good. And we're going to activate our Rock of the Vanquisher to special summon from hand. They're going to chain Maxi to Rock of the Vanquisher. So we're still playing into Maxi, but it's fine. We're going to actually chain the Caesar because I was going to summon this later anyway as an interruption. So I figured, well, might as well summon it right now and give them one less draw, you know? So tag out, we're going to tag in our Caesar Valius. A very cool animation, by the way. Really like the animation on this guy. They're going to get their Maxi, Rock of the Vanquisher. We're going to summon Raisin. And the reason I'm summoning Raisin here is because what I want to do is clear this back row and pop this Lady Labyrinth with the quick effect of Raisin if I get the chance. So that's what we're going to go for here. They're going to search themselves a Welcome Labyrinth with the Ariana. I'm going to go Raisin Search effect to search a Pantera. Then we can go Valius, reveal an Earth in hand, reveal a Fire in hand, and reveal a Mad Love in hand to pop the back row so that I can go Vanquish Soul Raisin, reveal 2 to pop the Lady Labyrinth. But unfortunately, they did have the Torby. So we're going to go for Jiaolong effect here to just summon the Jiaolong since we're here. But yeah, this is looking a little bit rough. Summon out the Jiaolong. They get a draw. They get their Big Welcome Labyrinth set up again. And Raisin will not get to pop because they have a set card on the field, unfortunately. We'll use the Jiaolong to change Ariana to defense position. That was actually a misclick. I wanted to search with Jiaolong, but I accidentally pressed the first effect. So, yeah, very impressive gameplay, I'm sure. They're going to go for Chandelier here, obviously added back to hand, and Torby effect to special summon it from the grave here. They're going to swing into my Raisin with their Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. They have 3 sets, but here's the thing. Labyrinth is kind of meant to build a bunch of advantage, but like we're out-resourcing them so much that it feels like they won't really be able to. So here we go. It's our turn. We still have a pop on Caesar. We have a search on Jiaolong since we have 2 fires in hand. So reveal 2 fires to search. We're going to go Caesar Valius right now. I just want to shotgun one of these back rows to just like force them to activate it. They're going to go for Big Welcome Labyrinth, which like is not bad, but here's the thing, guys. And this was kind of my plan too. I wanted to force them to use a Big Welcome because this card doesn't target. Caesar does not target, so we can just pop the Lovely Labyrinth before it even gets to activate its effect. So here we go for this, and then we just go Caesar Valius, pop the Lovely Labyrinth before it ever gets to use its effect, search the Dust Devil to flip everything our opponent has face down. They're going to set another trap here. Standby, main phase. We're going to go for Heavy Burger, add back the Caesar Valius, get myself another draw. Why not? Let's just keep out-resourcing this guy. We draw into Talents. That's so crazy here. Summon out the Pantera. We can reveal a Earth and a Fire in hand to pop back row. They're going to go for Dimensional Barrier, declaring XCs, which is not really that big a deal. We don't really need our extra deck that much for this deck to work. Here, I should have probably chained the Dust Devil so that they could not activate Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. It's not the end of the world, but probably should have done that here so they could not chain it. But anyway, they get themselves a Dogmatica Punishment. That's all good. Anyway, Pantera effect, you know, pop that. Gonna go for Triple Tactics Talent, and we're gonna take control of their Lady Labyrinth, just for the big body, you know. Activate Stake Your Soul, revealing Rise Heart in hand to special summon a fire with a different name. We summon Raisin. Raisin, search another copy of Jiaolong. Now we're gonna go into our Rock of the Vanquisher, and we're going to go Rock of the Vanquisher effect to summon out Mad Love. Mad Love is going to search our Trap card. And now we're going to use these two to go into Nightmare Phoenix. And yeah, we're just kind of clearing this guy. Discard the Rise Heart. We can pop the back row, the Dogmatica punishment they just set. Then we can go into Unicorn. Unicorn effect, discard, and we're going to shuffle back the Torby just to force it out. We're just kind of trying to clear it and go for game here, you know, so that's all good. Stovey Torby effect, they're going to set a big Welcome Labyrinth, not a problem. We get our Unicorn and their Lady to make ourselves an access code Talker, and access code is going to gain a bunch of attack here. Then we go access code effect, you know, just to pop some back row. I should have popped the older back rows instead of the fresh one, but whatever. So yeah, we'll pop some back row here, and then we're going to go Caesar Valius, bounce our Jiaolong, and that's basically lethal. I had like 2 seconds left on the clock here, but yeah, this is lethal. Going to go for game here, and yeah, we cleared it. Definitely should have popped the one here, but I think we already knew that it was Welcome Labyrinth from earlier, so I wasn't too worried about it. But dude, even though my first turn was not impressive at all, we kept up with Labyrinth no problem, and they were supposed to generate a bunch of advantage there, but we had so many ways to play around their stuff. I actually think our deck has a really, really good matchup into Labyrinth. I think people are actually maybe underrating this deck a little bit, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. All right, and I think this is going to be the last replay before we go into some live gameplay. This is probably going to be a bit of a longer video. There's just a lot to talk about with this deck, but this is going to be probably the one you waited for, just like a good turn one, you know, for the deck. So here we go. Stake Your Soul, reveal Divine Carnate. They're going to go Max C, and obviously we're just going to chain our Ash Blossom to the Maxi here to not have to deal with that. We can play under Maxi, but obviously we'd rather not, right? So negate the Maxi, and with Stake Your Soul, we're going to summon out our Raisin. Raisin effect, we're going to add ourselves a Jiaolong to hand. Then we can go Raisin, reveal a fire in our hand. So we're going to reveal Divine Carnate, and we can summon out the Jiaolong. And then we can go for Heavy Burger, add the Raisin back to hand to get our Heavy Burger on the field. So that we can go Jiaolong, reveal two fires, search any Vanquish Soul. We're going to search the Mad Love since we did not normal summon. We can summon out Mad Love, get ourselves the Soul Snow Devil. And I want to point out something here. To get the best benefits off of Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, you need a Dark, an Earth, and a Fire in hand. And you might notice here, I only have fires in hand. So with the Vanquisher, I can add back from my grave the Mad Love to my hand. So that's going to be Fire and Dark. And then for the third attribute, the Jiaolong search is actually a quick effect. So next turn, I could go Jiaolong effect, search any Earth Vanquish Soul from my deck, and we have our entire material set up for our Snow Devil, and we also have Dust Devil, which is literally going to be a Book of Moon for like 2 to 3 cards. So this is actually really, really solid. All right, so we're going to go Rock of the Vanquisher here, add back our Mad Love to our hand. Going to trigger Heavy Burger, get a draw off of Mad Love, and what's that? We have the Earth? Oh my god, that's awesome. The reason I was saying I just didn't want you to think I was like gambling on the draw. I wasn't. Even if I didn't draw into Caesar Valius here, I would still be able to make this trap live just by searching on my opponent's turn with the Jiaolong. Very important. So anyway, pass turn here. Opponent draws. We're going to go for Jiaolong, reveal 2 to just search our Pantera right now. That way we can even get ourselves the pop of Caesar Valius by just revealing an Earth, a Fire, and a Dark in hand, and just getting a free pop, non-targeting, by the way. Really good. And then we get our Heavy Burger draw with the Mad Love. Draw into Rhoda. Not the best thing ever, but you know, we'll take it. They're going to Kaiju over our Link 1, which is really random. And then they summon Multiplication. So we're going to summon out our Valius. We're just going to go for Caesar Valius here, revealing an Earth, a Fire, and a Dark. And we get to just pop the Multiplication. I just kind of want to like make them waste our resources here. They're going to go Equation. We're actually going to go for Dust Devil to flip it down. We still have our Trap to wipe everything. They're going to scoop it up here. But even if they had Circular, we had enough interruption to stop them from doing shit with Circular as well. So I was feeling super confident there. But yeah, easy money. I think that replay was just a pretty good showcase of like a good, really solid turn one for this deck. And now I think we need to do some live gameplay. And then we'll go do the card by card at the end as always. Nice. Got the coin flip. I'm going to go first. Hopefully not brick. You know, with only one Pot of Prosperity, that is kind of rough for this deck. So like you do kind of have to get lucky. That's why we're running Durandal, you know. I might even bump up the Durandal, even though it's not the best. Sometimes you just kind of need it. This hand is insane, though. This hand is, like, really, really, really good. All right, let's go Fenrir. Hopefully no Maxi. Okay, so far so good. That smelled like Imperm. Imperm or Maxi, one or the other. Let's get ourselves a Rise Heart. We do have Thrust, which helps a lot, because with Thrust we can actually set our Dust Devil. No, not Dust Devil, Soul Devil. Something like that. The Trap. We can set the Trap. Let's get ourselves the Jiaolong here. Okay, so far so good. Let's go Raisin. Reveal a Fire in hand. We'll reveal the Jiaolong we just searched. And we'll get to summon out that Jiaolong. Jiaolong effect. Oh, they did have the Max C. Okay. It's a little frustrating. I can't lie. Let's see. Guess we kind of have to give them another draw. Let's go Rock of the Vanquisher. We kind of have to do this. I want to set up our trap card. The Thrust is going to come in really clutch here. I should have probably just set the trap card actually before even summoning in case they drew into an Ash, but it is what it is. So we're going to go for a Vanquisher here. We're going to add our Raisin from our grave to our hand so that we have 2 fires in hand. Perfect. Now we can go Jiaolong. Add 1 Vanquish Soul card from our deck to our hand, revealing 2 fires. And we're going to add the Borger here for sure. Yeah, let's get a Borger here. And we're not going to summon the Borger. We're just going to go for triple Tactics Thrust, and we're going to set our trap card. Yeah. Set the Snow Devil. And the idea here is basically that on our opponent's turn, we'll use Jiaolong to search an Earth so that we can use all 3 effects of Snow Devil. And should be not too bad, you know? All right. Also, we have a Dark Fire in hand, so we'll get a pop with the Raisin. So we have like 2 really good interruptions. 3 actually with Fenrir, and we have Max C. Yeah, draw phase, I'm actually going to use Max C. I'd rather the Ash Max C than Jiaolong in this specific scenario. No Ash is a really good sign. I'll actually wait for the Jiaolong effect here, just in case they have Imperm. Just in case they have Imperm. Okay. Going Unicorn is no big deal. That's fine. Let's go get ourselves... Add a Earth to our hand by revealing 2 fires. So reveal 2 fires. We're going to add the Caesar, I suppose, because we can search the Pantera with the Raisin, and then we'll get to pop with Caesar. They get to look at my extra deck. I don't really care about that. It's not really an issue, especially since if they do it, we get to banish their card. All right, they're going for it. All right, not a problem with me. Yeah, that's completely fine with me. We're going to banish the Fenrir face down. I mean, the Unicorn face down here. Well, do I even want to do that? Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Banish the Unicorn face down. Let's just, like, get some more cards out of their hand here. All right, here's Fenrir. Okay, so how do we want to go about this? We could just pop the Fenrir straight up with the trap card, make our shit indestructible. Yeah, I really don't hate that. I think we're going to go for it. Even though, like, it's a little premature because they might have more cash to special summon in hand. I just kind of want to, like, get rid of their shit and make them empty their hand here. Just out-resource them a bit. So yeah, we'll show a fire. We'll show a dark. We'll show an earth. And we have a lot of stuff that we can do here, actually. So show all 3 of those. I'm actually going to summon the Raisin. The Raisin. Unfortunately, we don't really get a good pop here with the Raisin because they summoned their Fenrir in the correct zone. But we still get to pop all that stuff. We don't really need that Fenrir anymore. Let's go Raisin effect to search the Pantera. Search Pantera here. And we also have Ash, you know, so like, and we have Max C. So if they keep summoning, they're really just helping us. Oh, might be time for us to summon out the Caesar here. I'm going to bounce the Jiaolong, I would say, because we'll get to special summon it again after. Yeah, so let's bounce Jiaolong and just get Caesar on the field for the potential pop here. If they go for the effect of summon, we're probably going to pop the Birth. All right. All right. That looked weird, but, you know, the deck is really good. It's a weird deck, definitely. Like, it has a very unique playstyle, but I do genuinely think this deck is, like, really, really solid. Let's go check out the card by card here, as we always do at the end of our videos. So we have 1 copy of Kurikara Divine Carnate. It's a really good fire target. It comes up pretty often. You could run 2 Divine Carnate if you want. I'd rather have 1 Dogaran, 1 Divine Carnate, especially since Dogaran has lower defense than Mad Love. So, like, sometimes you'll use Dogaran to, like, Kaiju, and then you can go Mad Love effect to add your Dogaran back to your hand and use Dogaran again. So, like, I really like Dogaran in this deck. So I'm running one of this, then Then 3 Maxi is a good earth target and the best card in the game. 3 Ash, a great fire target and one of the best cards in the game. The Rise Heart is a searchable fire target if you have the Fenrir. We have obviously 3 Raisin. This is like your main guy. 1 Pantera. This is mostly because you want an earth in hand to be able to pop with the Caesar Valius, but Pantera's back row popping effect can come up sometimes as well, so it's still like a useful toolbox card to have. 3 copies of Mad Love. Mad Love bounce effect is really good, but most importantly, it can search your trap, or it can also search your Dust Devil. Don't sleep on this card. This card is really, really good. Won me many games. So yeah, Dust Devil is great. It's just a better Book of Eclipse for your deck. 2 copies of Jiaolong. You run 2 because you can break on Jiaolong sometimes, you know, because you do need like a smaller, you know, Vanquish Soul that you can actually reveal cards in hand with to be able to special summon Jiaolong and then use its search effect to search any Vanquish Soul card from your deck, you know. We're running 2 Borger. This card is a Heat Soul, and like I said, it's really good to go for game because of the burn effect being actually pretty significant. 1 copy of Caesar Valius. You can run 2 if you want, but I don't really ever feel the need to have more than 1 in my deck, so very happy to just run 1 Caesar Valius. Very good card though. The non-targeting pop comes up pretty often. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster to search off of our Thrust. Thrust is really good in this deck because you can't search Stake Your Soul with the Mad Love because it doesn't say Vanquish Soul in the title, but you can search it with the Thrust, right? So that's why we run 2 Thrusts and a couple of targets, running the Harpy's Feather Duster, the Herald of the Abyss to out the X Pearly Noir, the Triple Tactics Talent, you know, the Imperm. You can set Snow Devil with Thrust going first, which is really, really good. 2 copies of Continue, 1 copy of Dust Devil. Continue just kind of keeps you in the grind game or can extend combos or let you get into a rank 4 play. We have 1 Dust Devil. Again, love this card. The field spell to search a Fenrir. Fenrir is just really good in this deck. Getting a fire in your hand and having a good interruption off of Fenrir is really good. Also, you know, you can make a Big Eye and, you know, steal something and go into Zeus. Like, it's definitely just really useful. Keep in mind, Borger is also level 7, so it's pretty easy to get into a rank 7 when you have Fenrir. We're running the 1 Durandal. This is really useful going second. You can equip it to your opponent's monster, pop it, and search yourself the Raisin. Otherwise, if you have a special summon, like if you have like Stake Your Soul and you get special summon from your deck, well then you can go Durandal, search your Raisin, and normal summon it. Or if you have Fenrir, you can equip the Durandal to your Fenrir. In the extra deck, I'm running Dweller. This card would be Exciton Knight if I had it, but I don't, and I'm trying to hold on to some of my UR dust to build the Burger deck. So yeah, definitely run Exciton Knight if you have it. It's a really, really good card in this deck, and you know, Dweller doesn't come up that often. It's still good though. We're running pretty much a full Zodiac package. It's just a good like toolbox package. You know, it's an easy way to get into Zeus by attacking directly, and then also you can get a pop if you need it. You know, so I just really like this package for this deck. Running 1 Baguska. This card can come up sometimes. You know, it's a pretty useful card. It's a good worst case scenario card as well, as always. A Big Eye, running a Rise Heart. A Rise Heart, well, if you're playing against Kashtira in particular, and you have your Fenrir, you can just go straight into a Rise Heart if they use their Shangri-Ira. So that's a pretty useful thing to do. It hasn't come up for me yet, so I might end up replacing this, but we'll see. We have 3 copies of Rock of the Vanquisher. This is a must run at 3. This Link monster is literally like a field spell. It's freaking insane. It's really, really, really good. I mean, quick effect, add from grave to hand, or special summon from hand is like one of the best Link 1 effects I've ever seen in my life. It's just insane. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, because, you know, sometimes you gotta out some back row, IP Masquerena, Unicorn, you know, all the basic stuff that you might want to get yourself into an access code talker. The IP Masquerena sometimes can be pretty useful, you know, just like as a good like extra interruption if you can afford to summon it, or if your board is not looking like too impressive. Overall, I would say this deck is really solid. Again, I walked through Diamond. I feel like in Master it's probably going to be a bit tougher, but I think it'd be safely in tier 2 at the moment. I actually genuinely think this deck is really quite good. It has a lot of really good matchups against some of the best decks in the game. It's really, really solid. It's really fun. I definitely recommend going into solo mode maybe and practicing some combo lines with this deck before going into ladder with it if you decided to build it, because it's definitely not the most straightforward deck, and I'd say it's even harder to talk about the deck while playing. I'll say that much. Like, it was a lot easier for me to play it when I wasn't recording the video. Just talking about this deck, there's just so many diverging paths, you know, like I feel like the flowchart for this deck is like probably like super massive with so many like little things that you can do depending on the attributes you have. So definitely a deck that you'll get better with over time as you play it, similar to a fighting game. and I really do think they hit the nail on the head with the theme of this deck. So yeah, I love it. I really love it. Maybe my favorite new deck since Sprite. Like, I really enjoy playing this deck. I'm gonna be playing a lot of it, and definitely gonna be playing a lot of it on stream as well. Super happy to finally have Vanquish Soul. Next up, we're probably gonna do the Hungry Burgers, and we also have to do the What Should You Play for the ritual event, so look forward to that. Make sure to like the video, hit the sub if you haven't already, leave a comment to let me know all my misplays throughout the video, and yeah, see you in the next video. All right, peace.